GameyDaddy.
Hello everyone, this is Emmond with GameyDaddy and I'm here with another video from Tom Clancy's The Division. So today I am here to bring you a little public service announcement and just kind of a guide on what to farm as you're preparing for the drop of patch 1.6. Now these items that you're going to be trying to farm are not necessarily going to apply to the last stand PvP mode, because that is something that you can do with your build of choice or with your team's build of choice, the moment you want to start this mode. But I've played the PTS and they're going to roll out, several aspects of the PTS, and there are going to be a lot of changes. But so far, what I've seen is that there are some items that, are probably worth farming, and if you find good ones, they're worth keeping. So these are some of the items that I'm going to actually share with you that I think will be very valuable once the patch rolls out. And I'm gonna share my thoughts behind it. Okay, so the first thing I would say though is this. Many people, or if not everyone, wants to get their hands on the exotic items. So one of the best things to do while you're prepping for patch 1.6, whether you're on PC, PS4 or Xbox One, is to level up an alternate character. If you've already leveled up 4, then there's no problem. But if you level up an alt character, what you do is you increase your chances of getting these items, the exotics as they call them, because it affords you the opportunity to play the legendary missions 4 times, because each time you play it in a week, you get a weekly reward, which is a legendary cache. Now, even if you have 2 characters, each mission grants you 1 exotic cache. I'd call it legendary, but it's an exotic cache, and it has a potential to give you at least 6 exotic caches if you play each mission, because there are 3 of them. Now, if you have 4 characters and you beat the legendary mode missions, all of them in a week, you have the potential of looking at 12 exotic caches, which grants you a possibility of any of the 12 exotic items that you may be looking for. This is the best way to increase your chances of getting these items that you've been hunting for. I'm telling you, sure beats farming Lexington and Napalm production site 1,000 times to find a Larice chest piece and a Pharaoh's mask. Now, the second thing I would say that I feel like will be very valuable in the next patch is the Banshee, and this is for solo players in the Dark Zone. Now, I have a Banshee set right now. I even have a build video, but that video can help you on what to do to build it, but I wouldn't suggest that you build it right now. I would say once you get any Banshee set that you like, that has good rolls, go ahead and throw it in a stash. Keep it if you like to run solo in the Dark Zone. Because the developers have just said, and this is the PTS, it might change, it might not change, but I don't think this set bonus is going to change. They're going to add an extra 10% damage to you if you're running Banshee anytime you've been killed by a rogue. This 10% extra damage bonus is going to last for, I think it was 10 minutes. Now, they may adjust the time limit, they may adjust the extra bonus damage, they may adjust some things, but they want to actually make Banshee very viable for running and farming in the Dark Zone. Now, the third thing is pretty much a reclaimer build. Now, it may not necessarily be a reclaimer build, but hear me out. I would say more likely a healer build with sufficient skill power. So why am I, putting it this way, healer build or reclaimer build? Well, the reclaimer build allows you the mods of all 4 support stations whenever you're wearing 4 pieces. Now, this is very powerful. This is very strong. It almost feels like if you're running in a team, one person, will need to have reclaimer. Now, they've changed some things. They're going to have to modify some things because people are just spam reviving with the support station from, missions or incursions that they're supposed to have wiped out. But regardless, that doesn't still defeat the purpose of having all the support stations active. That's so much power for one player to be able to have. And so getting a set like this can provide you the opportunity to play a support build. If you maybe matchmake in an incursion, you're a solo player, you matchmake for an incursion, and everyone on the team is probably running all kinds of different gear sets. You just put on your reclaimer and you're able to carry your team through a mission with heals and with a support station and cooldowns and all that good stuff. So I would say a reclaimer build is good. Now, if you can't, put together a reclaimer build, or you don't like the reclaimer build, well, your next possibility is running tactician and using like the revive, station for your team. Your job is to keep them alive. If you're playing a support skill build, that's your job. You run maybe the station and you run smart cover and all that good stuff. Now, another possibility that, no one may be thinking about is final measure. A lot of people don't talk about final measure, but I feel like this is a very good build in the division. If you know how to use it, you can do serious crowd control. Imagine running a mission where you're getting spammed with grenades. The new incursion is Rikers. Those are the bad guys, and so you're going to deal with a lot of grenade spams. If you have a good final measure set, go ahead and put that aside. If you're getting some good pieces that have max rolls, make sure you're stashing them, because that may be valuable to build a skill build with that possibility of the crowd control that final measure has, and also the exotic damage resilience as well. Also, another thing you can build that I would suggest people go ahead and start looking for is anything that's going to give you a versatile shield build. Now, I'm not saying the defense gear set is the only exclusive to this, because some people have very good, builds with Sentry and others, but I'm saying a versatile shield build in general, because there are aspects of the incursion right now that require you to use your shield, and also as you're using your shield, you also can deal damage if you prefer to. That in that sense, you can run your 93R, you can run your X45, or you can go for the defense gear set. It's gonna get a little change, so all of that, depends on what it is you want to leverage. Getting that build in place for the incursions, for the incursion right now, is actually a very smart idea. I'm telling you, there are aspects of the incursion where you definitely will need to use a shield, or you will need somebody with a shield build that makes sense. Now, also note that the enemy armor damage and damage to elites are going to be changing in their stat locations, because the legendary incursions actually have all kinds of enemies. Like, you have regular enemies, you have veteran enemies, and then you have elites as well. So damage to elites, if you're thinking of building to stack that up and you want to be playing the incursions and you're a hardcore PvE player and all the legendary stuff, I would say don't worry about rolling them right now. Gather them up, stack them, put them in your stash, and keep looking for things that are going to help your build and keep them aside. A lot of things are going to be changing, but if you have the right items, if you're stacking them and you're keeping them, the changes are not going to affect you too much, because you can pull out those things and build to the meta. Well, that's my spew for today. I appreciate you for listening to this video. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button. Thanks so much for your time. Peace.